One more thing.
One more thing. One more thing.
Hello and welcome to a very, very special episode of One More Thing, these deep and meaningful conversations with some of the most inspiring and innovative artists within the bass music realm. And today I am joined by Turno. How are you doing, sir?
Yes, brother. How are you doing? Lovely intro, by the way. I really appreciate that. But yeah, man. I'm good, man. But how about you? You all right?
Yeah, I'm not bad. Another busy week at One More Thing Towers. What's your week like today? Like, what's your day been like today?
To be honest, today I've actually been making tunes. Actually, I've been trying to make a tune a day this week because I've had the last couple weeks of my creativity's been a bit shit, to be fair. So I thought, I don't know, after the warehouse project at the weekend, I just got like a little inspirational boost. And I've luckily made about 4 tunes since then. So I thought today I'm going to write some jungle, and that's exactly what I did. And I'm pretty gassed with it, man. So yeah, a good day, man. It's a good day in the office. Can't lie.
Brilliant. I mean, that is the life force, really, isn't it? For anybody writing tunes, that the gigs are what feeds a lot of inspiration for the tunes. When you're not in album mode and you are writing tunes for the dance floor, you need those nights, don't you?
Mate, 100%, bro. It goes so hand in hand. Like when lockdown happened, I didn't even write any dance floor tunes for obvious reasons, but I didn't realize how much of an effect it would have on my creativity. And obviously, yeah, you just feed off the crowd. You know what sounds work, like you know what ideas might work, like because you're playing to the actual dance. Do you know what I mean? So there's ways you can play people's emotions and stuff, and maybe do fake drops or bring in little cheeky vocals people might know. So yeah, man, I love it. And to see something go off, I actually made something on Friday, which broke my writer's block, and I played it out that night, and it got really good response. Got a reload and everything. So for me, that was the start of like the change, man, and that's all it takes. Sometimes you'd have that writer's block, something will happen, you think I can't do this anymore, maybe I've gone as far as I can't do it, and then suddenly something happens, and then you get inspiration back, and then you think like, what the fuck was I thinking of that like last week? But that is just part and parcel of doing this as a job, or I suppose anything creatively, man. You can't wake up every day and make a banger or do something you want. This normally Wednesday, because I've been hitting it hard Monday, Tuesday. Today I had a bit of a slow start, but I mean, yeah, I still cracked out a tune, which I'm quite happy with. So it just shows, man, persistence. And yeah, man, the raves are so important for that, man. So important. So yeah, big up to the raves.
Big up to the raves. And I mean, this has been the first, like we've had a full year this year and a full summer where we've actually been able to go out and rave and do our thing, and you've been able to work and stuff like that. I mean, that must have been, like just a feeling of relief, really, to be able to look at a schedule and think, right, okay, this is, there's no touch wood about it. This is going to happen now.
Yeah, it's amazing. To be honest, I was lucky enough to go to New Zealand and Australia I think it was last March, when the UK was still in lockdown, bro. So, and that was such a mad experience, like from going to the airport and no one being in there, and the whole like the flight with no one on, like the quarantine for 2 weeks in New Zealand, but then also getting released into the normal life, like which you kind of feel like you forgot about. So yeah, man, it was amazing. And then playing the shows out there, and some really fucking big ones as well for New Zealand as well, was massive. And I was lucky to tour with like Brucey, Benny L, Inja. There was loads of us. AMC.
I was going to say AMC. I remember seeing those photos, and there was just a feeling of FOMO from anyone in the UK.
Yeah.
You've never seen the smiliest like pictures of drum and bass DJs ever. Like everyone just beaming.
Mate,
like,
so gas, man. And we had the sickest time. We were out there for 3 months, man. So we really, do you know what? Like we really did get to know each other as people rather than just colleagues, and that's really beautiful. Like we really got really close to Benny, Inja. Oldie was really close to Alex, but like Brucey, I didn't really met before. And it was just great, man. It was great just to chill together and we'll share this feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh my God, we've been chosen. We've been chosen to come out here. And it was amazing. And obviously then going back into the UK, I think I got back, I think it was like May time. And then I had a couple shows cancel, and I was kind of like, I got back into a bit of a shit headspace because I was kind of like, I've had a taste now. I want it to come back. And yeah, I think Drum in the Sun was the first show I played, which was like Ascot, which is like a kind of like a little festival thing, which was amazing. And then from there, it slowly started coming back. But yeah, it was amazing, man. Like it was, I met I've got a girlfriend now who I only met during lockdown. So that was the first summer she got to see me actually do my thing, because we were together for like, nearly a year, man, without her actually seeing me play. I think she's come to a couple live streams and that, but that's not the same as a rave, is it? Like, so yeah, it was a really, really good summer. And the same with this, man. This year's been absolutely mental. Like, and I think most artists will probably tell you the same. I think the lockdown definitely did something to us all. As much as like this has been the best summer ever, man, and I've had the best time. I think the exhaustion levels have definitely been up to bit, and I can see it in every artist's eyes that I speak to, and they're very grateful, and they don't want to say anything bad, but they can definitely tell that it's been tiring, man. I don't know if that's because we've had a year out, or because we're getting older, or because it's been busy as hell. But I'm just there, a mixed emotion. So it's definitely made me look after myself a bit more, like well-being wise, and because like the traveling is savage sometimes, man, and you have to be, you walk, even if you're feeling shit, you have to walk in that rave and put on that smile and be Turno and gassy, and so like you got to make sure that you're in the right space to do that, man, because it can take it out of you, man. Like so,
hugely, especially with everything that you've gone through in the last year as well, really. And I guess you've got to, which we're going to get into in a moment, but you've got to leave that at the door, haven't you? When you're being Turno and you've been booked to play, and this is work for you. There's you kind of got to leave that at the door to a certain degree, or bring certain aspects of that into your set, but you have to be that gassy man, because that's what people know you to be.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if I did I turned up to a liquid set or something, because I was not feeling right. I would be like, what's going on with Turno? But to be honest with you, like it actually makes, if I've had a shit day, like it actually happened. I had a shit day. It was actually Estonia. That's it. Yeah, it was actually 2 days after the anniversary of my brother's death. So I was feeling proper low. I went to Estonia, and even that was a long day of traveling. Like I think I left my house like 10 in the morning. I didn't get there till like midnight, and then I played at 2 a.m. and then went straight back home. So it was savage.
Wow.
Yeah, it was savage. So, but I did feel like shit that day. And then when I don't know, man, this DJing and playing, letting off that steam, because obviously I'm quite active. It gets out of me. I get the response from the crowd, just everything, the whole experience, like it just heals me in it. So, I mean, as much as it's hard to sometimes put on that brave face, as soon as you're a couple tunes in, it just comes out, and then you're back again. And to be honest, actually, it makes me feel normal again. I feel like, yeah, this is why I'm on this earth. Yes, I'm doing all right. This is the reason. So, yeah, man, it goes hand in hand. This weird, like I can't live without. Well, I definitely can't live without it. I was going to say I can't live with or without it, but I definitely couldn't live without it, man. But yeah, it just shows how important it is to a lot of us kind of, I don't know, artists, that it does actually give us purpose, man. It actually does give us drive, purpose. Otherwise, I think my head would be in a lot of mad places, man.
There must be a lot of catharsis in there. So when you come off a set, it feels like you've done a workout.
Yeah, oh mate, 100%. To be honest, I'm a sweaty bastard anyway. So as soon as I step in a rave, I am sweating, man. But yeah, because I do move a lot. I definitely have to have a spare couple t-shirts and maybe even a pair of jeans after the set. But that's just, I don't know. For me, it's weird. I don't even remember when that started. I think I've always been quite energetic, but I don't know. I just feel like that is my release. Like it is like a gym workout. It's mad. Like, and I do look at it like such a positive, man. It makes me feel
I think it's all the stages of you kind of coming into yourself and you really kind of being comfortable in your own skin. And I remember the first ever interview we did, maybe 2017, something like that, and it was like, we need to talk about Turno. And you've been doing things for at least 5-6 years before then, but this was like, kind of, you were playing around with house influences. You've just been back from Ibiza, and that was kind of like the start of like this kind of super Turno that everybody knows now, who's become the headliner that we were talking about you becoming at the time, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's mad, to be fair. Like, it still feels mad even saying it. I do remember that interview. I even remember the picture, which was terrible. But I remember, yeah, like, to be fair, it's crazy how quick things. I think the one thing with this life, because it's so full on, like in general, like it is tough on your loved ones, and like for instance, my missus, it's tough on because it's so demanding. It's so it's so intense, man. And I just think that it is tough to try and kind of keep on the ball like a lot for the whole time, because you need to try and juggle your home life, your actual life, along with other bits and bobs. I run a couple of different businesses as well, so it's tough to like spread yourself. You don't want to kind of just pot around with loads of different just basically just water a couple plants and not like focus on one, because then they might all flop, man. So I think it's been a crazy couple of years, but I think the one thing you just don't you don't have the time. You don't really get a chance to really commend yourself, like on how maybe far you've come, like as an artist, because we're so in it all the time. And you think the hardest thing is consistency, man. That's the hardest thing. Consistency, staying relevant, and to still be kind of in that in that tier is I don't know, it's amazing, but I still haven't even peaked, man. I still got so much more to give, so it feels just nice and humbling. But like I say, you don't really give yourself enough props. I don't think any artist does, because it is like so savage. The thing I hate is when some people say to me, like, they don't do it for a living, they say, oh, you're lucky, man, you found that. It's like, nah, man, I've made it. I've made this. I've chosen this, and I've put the hours in. You work like 9 to 5, and it's nothing against anyone, but it's the extra hours, like the weekends we work. That's when we DJ. In the week, we have to make music for the weekend. We have to. I mean, there's meetings about releases, campaigns. You have to be on your socials. Like, that's 24/7 shit, man. Like,
oh yeah.
It's obsessive. You have to be obsessed with this and really want to give it your all. And I think so many people dip their toe in and they think, oh my God, this is mad. Like, can I really devote my life to this shit? And I understand that, but that is the realness. And that's why you see, unfortunately, so many artists that have a little break and then they'll kind of slowly fade away because they can't deliver again because of the pressure or because of whatever. But I feel like it's, it has to be, you have to really want it, man. Like, and that's like, I suppose, like anything really.
Absolutely, and I can relate to loads of that. Being self-employed, you don't choose this life, you don't kind of fall into it or anything, like. And when this culture is part of your life, you eat, sleep, and breathe it. You dream it. You have nightmares about it. Sometimes you have wet dreams about it. Sometimes you shit it. You know, like, it is everything. It is all encompassing. Like, and you just like, sometimes you'll work until you stop, and but at the same time, like, you know, the pressures of the industry need to be balanced out with looking after yourself, and that is something that you've learned about a lot in the last year, really. So, I mean, obviously, I hope that you have got the balance right and you are able to give yourself some time too.
It's tough. It's one of them ones where, like, it normally takes my missus or someone to kind of go, babe, you need to chill out a bit, man. Like, I mean, you've been working all day, now on your phone at home. Like, just put it down for a bit. And I get that. Like, I think sometimes it is about I've definitely learned more to do that. Like, because you need it, man. You can't be work. You need to get inspired by being out of this room, do you know what I mean, or without making tunes and stuff, and just in general, you need to enjoy your life, because before you know it, like, it literally will be, you'll be like 45, like, and you'll be like, shit, like, all I've done is work my whole life. Yeah, I've seen some amazing things, I've done some amazing stuff, but I've not got a family, I've not got any kids. Do you know what I mean? Like, so you have got to be careful, you have got to be balanced, and that's the stage in my life I'm at now. Like, I want to have a family, I want kids. Like, for me, like, it's all about balance. And the older I'm getting, the more I'm trying to. I say trying, but I'm trying to, like, cut away from anything that's dragging me down, man, really, or anything I don't like. If I'm doing something that I'm not really, I'm looking at it like a chore, I've either got to delegate it to someone else or move on. And I think that's something I've learned the hard way with that. But now I just think, you know what, the things that make me happy is making music and DJing, so I'm going to keep doing them, and then from there, hopefully, opportunities will come to do other things and to bring my other kind of dreams into play as well. So. Yeah, definitely. And I think, you know, like you mentioned consistency earlier, and I think the more you show consistency, the easier that is to become. Like, you are able to cherry pick more, you are able to pick things and go, no, this is what I want to do, and stuff like that, really. I would never want to be at a stage in my career where I feel like I'm hanging on, you know. You just take anything, and for me, I'd probably call it quits then. Like, if obviously, if you got the beneficial factor of being able to do that financially, but for me, like, yeah, if I ever felt like that, like, I would I'd probably want to bow out gracefully. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be hanging on and go, oh, he's Turno's still about, but he's 70 years old and he's still playing room 4 at fucking Fabric or something. Like, do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think it's like I said, consistency is key, man. And the more you build up, the more, like you said, you can cherry pick things and choose kind of your next direction, because there's so many ways you can go with it. Like, you can go into multimedia, you can go into maybe just producing in a studio instead of, like, for other people, for the vocalists or artists. There's so many ways, and I've been shown a couple of different avenues in the last year, especially, and it's opened my mind to a lot more that what can be done. So it's nice to know that, because I feel like this DJ life is a very fast life. Like, it's amazing, man, but it's a very fast life. So to be able to slow it down a bit and still kind of progress as an artist, and knowing there's them avenues there, like, is amazing, man. So yeah,
I think you've shown signs of that as well. This brings us on really nicely to, you know, the most recent and most important and personal project that you've ever done, and possibly ever will do in your career. Really, what's on your mind? Because that's the first kind of rap style track I think you've ever done, really, isn't it? So tell us all about that, and then I want to big up all of the MCs as well. But tell us about that track first of all.
Yeah, for sure, man. Right, so yeah, what's on your mind? We made it in honor, well, basically me and a bunch of his friends. I'll tell the whole story. So unfortunately, my brother lost his life to suicide last September. Obviously, yeah, it was tragic. And the only way one of his friends come to me with the idea of writing a song in his honor. And that was it. It was very vague. And I was like, oh, that sounds quite a cool idea. Then I only found out I thought there was only 2 MCs on it. I knew them both, like Fizzy, which is on it. I know he's like my best mate. I know him really well. So he was the one I was kind of liaising with, if you like, about this project. And then yeah, it started to build up, and we started to have, like, I don't know, Tulippy was going to do a verse, which he's like a new age kind of guy from Bedford who's doing kind of bits. Locke, who's been around for a long time. But do you know what? He's so talented, man. Like, he's the one that sings on it, and he does a verse as well. He's so talented, but he's unfortunately never like focused on it enough for it to kind of go anywhere. So I was blown away by what he'd done, by what everyone done. But it slowly started building up. And then anyway, before we even recorded anything, Fizzy actually had a reference of a track that he wanted me to kind of get influence from, because I was like, look, for you not to write the most emotional stuff you need to, you show me what kind of vibe you want, so I can produce that for you, so you can get out what you want to get out in the most natural state. So he come to the studio, he showed me this track. I think it was a Benny Banks track, actually. I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, so we just used that as a reference because it had pianos and kind of emotional kind of vibe. Even at the BPM, I kind of mimicked. I think it was like 110. But yeah, so we just made the track in that session. Took a couple hours. I took it away, and then a couple months later, when it all kind of got their verses ready, we all met at the Mac Studios, which is in Bedford, and yeah, we recorded it all and put like the final touch on the voice notes of Fabio, and everyone on there kind of really did open their heart, man, and is quite vulnerable to their own experiences with mental health, along with like obviously how they felt about my brother losing his life and how it affected them, and yeah, just a lot of really kind of vulnerable kind of situations that they've been through themselves. And that was kind of like the idea behind it, is just to kind of use music, because that's the best way we know as artists to be able to translate this emotion, to kind of get out, to get this message out. We didn't really think too much about, I mean, I wanted to release it, but I didn't really think about too much about it until we got the final product. When we'd finished the track, and yeah, I remember we all listened to it in the thing, we all were crying and stuff, but it was like good tears, and yeah, we all just felt like we'd done something really good here. And then from there, I just kind of like thought this little seed just kept growing. I thought, you know what, I need to get this out there, man. And obviously that's quite a challenging thing for a drum and bass producer to do, to put out like a hip hop grime kind of track, and kind of be accepted. Obviously the matter at heart, you would think people would take some sincerity towards that, which it's been amazing, the response. But still, man, it's still a risky thing for a jump up, let's just say, well, primarily jump up artist to put out like a completely different, like open heart kind of thing. But it just felt like the right thing to do. Like I did the same when Dominator passed away. Like I made like a tribute for him, like music, because that's the only way. Same as Skibber, it's the only way I know how to. And that's made now. That's never going anywhere. So obviously we made that. We decided we wanted to put it out. I did a D&B edit of it, which I've been playing at the end of my sets, which is coming out on the 10th of October.
That's right. That comes out on the day that this video goes out, which is World Mental Health Day. And yeah, I mean, when I first heard the track, when I was first sent it a couple of weeks ago and I was writing a news story on it, I cried. You know, like as somebody who's very close to his own brother as well, and having mental health issues myself, and just you can hear that raw emotion from everybody involved in the track. Like that must have been cathartic to do, but also just an incredibly emotional experience really for everybody involved.
To be honest, like I say, when I finished listening to it, because it exceeded my expectations a million to one. I don't know what I expected, but I just thought it would just be, I didn't know there was going to be like because the hook, like the actual singing, the start of the track, that was actually only in there on Locke's verse, which is about 2 minutes into the track, and I was like, nah, that's the hook, man. That is the bit that sets the scene. Doesn't matter what age you are, what music you listen to, if you're hearing them words, you know that what the subject matter is, and you understand that. It gives me tingles thinking about it now, like just that just sets the scene. I've had my mum, who's like 70 odd, like I've had like aunts and I mean, our family members that are not into that kind of genre or music, and they really felt it, man. Like, so for me, that is such an amazing thing. So it's been really positive, the response since coming out. But yeah, it was tough it was tough recording it for sure, and everyone opened it up. You can fully hear in everyone's voice and their lyrics and their bars. Everyone has smashed it, and some of them guys on there have never released music before, so it really is like a credit to themselves as artists, because like the Miles who done the first verse, he's never released anything. He's been writing for years, but he's never released any music before. So just like, as much as it being a mental health positive thing, it's also positive for these young artists, or these artists on there that might be able to use this platform or use this track and use that to kind of propel their career, which I really hope it does, man. So it's you know what, it's just a positive thing around. It's a different feeling. It's like, it's weird.
It's not about you. Like, it's about a bigger thing, isn't it? And when you're a producer, things can be very egocentric. They kind of have to be when you're a producer and you're a DJ. It is all about you, and the spotlight's on you, and you're top of the bill and stuff. And that's the way it should be. But with this, it isn't. It's egoless, isn't it? And if anything positive could come from it, you're going to be gassed off that. And obviously, Fabio would be gassed. That's what he would want, isn't it?
100%. Do you know, it's a mad different feeling of like, I can't really, don't know what the word is, like just happiness from it, because you get proud, you feel pride from it in a different way. Like, obviously when you put out a release, like, yeah, it is important for it to get #1. It's important for people to share it on the story, and obviously the finances of it as well, important what you earn off it. Like, which is the opposite way at all. Like, we're donating everything to charity. We've been selfless about this completely, and it's just do you know what, the amount of messages I've received, like, from people opening up to me, like, just because they've heard the song, like, it's just been beautiful, man. Like, so I mean, that has then inspired us, which I'm guessing you're going to probably ask to kind of get onto this kind of, we thought we can do more, and we decided to put together like a seminar, like which is happening in Manchester, and we're actually recording it on the 5th, but it's going to go live on the 10th, National Mental Health Day. And yeah, we've got a space in Manchester where we've actually got artists coming down. We've got Salado there. We've got Ewan McVicker, which, again, 2 massive house guys. They're going to come down, share their experiences with mental health. I'm going to share mine. Simul is going to be there as well to share his, because he was quite vocal about his journey quite recently. So, and he was more than happy to share with us. So that's amazing. And we've got some professionals there from Samson's Academy, and some, do you know what, some really big brands are behind it, man. D&B All Stars. Like, there's some worried about Henry. There is others as well, like, but it's crazy. The support has been absolutely unbelievable, and I'm just really happy. And hopefully we can turn this what's on your mind into an annual event. Hopefully I can make it into a charity one day, and hopefully just we can help people, man, because especially with I do think with D&B All Stars and worried about Henry getting on board, they have a lot of young clientele, and I think that specific criteria, if you like, of people that age range, whatever, I feel like that's where, if we can get into their heads from early and school them from early, then I think that will help their own mental health journeys, and also be a bit more loving to each other and stuff. I just think, like, it should be taught in schools, man. This shit, man, like, it should be taught in schools. You've got sex education and other stuff, like, this is just as important, man, as that stuff. And if you taught it from early, even if you just introduced it from early, like middle schools or preschools, just to a small extent, like, instead of now at the moment, it's like if someone's moving mad or something's wrong with someone, people get out their phones and film them or take the piss out of them, where it should be a consoling thing, and that needs to come from the source, man, and from the top of the league, so people can actually follow it through, man. But I really feel strongly about it being in schools, and that is something that we are actually trying to do. Do
you know what? I think that is starting to happen. For like the new generation of kids now, like, you know, my really little ones, you know, they go in and they say what emotion they're feeling, and they put their name in a box, whether they're feeling happy or sad or tired and things like that. And this is a brand new thing, so I think that is kind of happening. But certainly for young men, you know, that kind of, and just young people full stop, you know, that kind of, that old school man up mentality still echoes through the generations, doesn't it? And like, we would have been brought up with that kind of, you know, hammered into us back in the day. Things are changing, but not quick enough, really. And that's the message, isn't it? Talk about it and be supportive of each other. Show love.
It's just the no judgment thing, man. Like bless my brother, man. God rest his soul. Like, he wasn't a talker. He had he was a typical man. Like, wanted to show that he was strong for his girlfriend, for his. I mean, and he was a barber as well. So he had to, regardless whether he was happy or not, he had to put on a brave face all day, and also look at himself in the mirror all fucking day. So if you're having a shit day, you've got that to look. You're just like constantly beating. I can imagine how hard it must be, man. So it's just about kind of. Yeah, man. Like the saddest thing that I can't kind of comprehend is just like I just feel so sorry for him for feeling so bad within himself that he felt that was the only way out. And that's the same with so many cases. Like they have a loving family around them, they have friends, they have a girlfriend, they have a business, they have so many things that are in their favor, but it's not enough for them to kind of even want to save themselves or even reach out for help. They think that's the only option. That is for me is the hardest thing to I don't think I ever comprehend it fully, man. That's the toughest thing to kind of the toughest pill to swallow.
That must have been brutal for you because you two were inseparable. You know, knowing you on social media, I felt like I knew Fabio a little bit myself, and seeing his picture because he modelled all of your time as clothes and stuff like that. He was part of he was part of the Turno journey, wasn't he?
He made 100%, bro. He was part of. He was a big part of time is now because he was drippy as fuck, so he properly knew all the little titles. He had the eye for it, man. So that was definitely something that he was fully involved in. And he used to come. He was just a proud bro, man. He used to be so proud of me, man. And I was proud of him when he opened the shop, like against the odds. Like he smashed it. And like I say, we've still got it open now, man. Like we couldn't close it. It would have felt wrong. Me and my dad and my brother have decided to take it over. And we aren't barbers. We're not business owners in that field, so it's completely new to us. But yeah, it's gone really well. We've managed to get all the chairs filled. His girlfriend, bless her, the strongest girl I know, like still working for us and still working for the shop. I got a big up Liv, man. She's like my sister. And yeah, it's been tough, but we're doing everything in our power to recycle this pain into positivity. I say pain to prosper. Like it's been really fucking tough, man. I'm not gonna lie. For me as well, because my mum and dad are split up. Like they've been split up for years. Like so, my mum's not really got much family left. She's brought up in Luton and we're from Bedford, so I mean it's not like it's far, but she hasn't got much family left anyway. And now Fabio's gone. It's just me, like in Bedford, really. So my dad's got a whole new family, so I've had to try and kind of make sure my mum was okay, as well as my dad, as well as Liv, like, and myself as well. Like, so it has been tough. Like on the anniversary, I definitely felt like I was mediating a lot of the day, which is fine. That's what I have to do. I mean, I'm happy to do that. I want to make sure everyone's okay. But I did really feel it on the Friday, man. I felt proper shit. Like, so that just proved to me that I didn't give myself enough time that day just for myself and just to chill, man. And I think
definitely. And there are gonna be days when you've got to be that supportive character, really. But it's finding that balance. And you know, I feel like I know some of your family because I've been lucky to watch some of the documentary because this has been documented by BBC as well. And you went through training, didn't you? You've been through training you mentioned Samson's Academy. So tell us about the training that you went through in the documentary experience.
So Samson's Academy, I got a big up Dorian and Anita. They run a really amazing mental health charity in Bedford. They've done it for years, but they've got a gym, a boxing gym, and they really specialise in mental health support. And Dorian, bless him, like I've never met him before a couple of months ago, but he met my brother in a car park and for the first time, and that was it. I think they just hit it off. I think Fabio was parking in his space, and they just managed to hit it off. And Fabio felt comfortable in sharing some quite stuff with Dorian that was very personal to how he was feeling, and to just meet someone and be able to feel that comfortable. Like Dorian's got a very so that's why he made such an impact in Dorian's life. And Dorian came to us and said, look, the BBC have messaged us and they want to do a documentary. We'd love you to be involved, and we'd love your Fabio story to be the main storyline. And we were like, wow. Like, to be honest with you, at first I was kind of thinking, is this going to happen? Like, it sounds mad, but bro, to be fair, well, it did. It's done. It's done now. But it was crazy. The journey of it was crazy. Again, that was really hard, because it's almost like you're glorifying. Look, I don't know, not glorifying, but part of you feels like, is this the right thing to do? Like, are we like putting it on TV? We thought, is it going to be a massive film crew? Is it going to be quite intimidating? You've got the guy on the fucking sound thing. I thought, is this going to be a bit overwhelming? Do you know what I mean? Trying to act normal in a shop with like 20 people trying to film you. But it wasn't. It was just two guys. They were so fucking good, man. So nice, so lovely. Made us feel so comfortable. And it was just really, they smashed it, man. We thought, look, if this is done right, then we're gonna have something that we can watch for the rest of our lives, like, and actually like look at it and go, you know what, man, like, because the episode is obviously sad, don't get twisted, obviously fucking heartbreaking, but there is the way it's filmed and the things we do in it. Definitely, I don't know how much you've seen of it, but there is some positive kind of like transitions in it, and it ends in a heart. Like, I don't necessarily think you finish the episode and feel worse than when you started it. It starts quite horrific, but then as it goes on, you kind of like start to get to know us a bit better, and the situation and what we're trying to do, and that this training we done was suicide training, and it was just like it was only a 10-minute thing. Like, to be honest, it's free for anyone, and I'm going to start sharing a link when the episode's out, because I think everyone should know. And the one thing I learned from it the most, bro, is that be much more direct with yourself, like with asking someone, actually say, are you feeling suicidal? Not like, oh, you're not thinking of doing anything stupid, are you? Or, do you know what I mean? Them kind of condescending bars that like make you think, oh, you need to approach it. If you see someone that feel, you can always tell when someone's not themselves, or you can tell when something's up. Like, but most of us choose to just go, oh, I'll be all right. But don't, man. Like, just ask that question in it. Like, I mean, when they're on their own in the kitchen or whatever they are, just kind of go, are you all good, bro, man? You look a bit down. And then that might be the key for them starting to open up to you, innit? And that's all it is. Just being a bit more care.
For them to feel comfortable with you and to know that you're listening and know where they're coming from, really, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think a lot of people just, I mean, when you see someone, you all do the same. What are you saying, bruv? You good? But it's just standard jargon. You're not actually going, how are you, bro? You're actually okay? Like, you're looking at me in the eyes. It's just part of. So I think that's what it is. Actually sitting down and asking the question on more of like an intense, deep one. And I do think, like, yeah, it definitely has opened my eyes for sure. Like, because I saw you do think using the suicide word. Like, it is quite an intense word. It's quite a dangerous subject. I thought it was anyway, to say it like that. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it's like you're putting that thought in people's heads, or I don't know. Like, but seeing that and the way it just, you can signpost it, and just to be more direct with it, basically, and not think, oh, he'll be all right. Do you know what I mean? Oh, she'll be okay. Do you know what I mean? And then the next day they might not be here. So I think it's just about being a bit more. Is it careless? Is that the right? Not careless, like the opposite of careless.
Yeah. Caring, but not overthinking it. Not overthinking it, really, isn't it? And just actually going in. And I think, especially as British people, and you might be torn because you're also a heartfelt, passionate Italian as well. But in Britain, we skate around, the words like suicide and stuff still now, really, don't we? Is it the same with Italian culture, though? Because I've always seen Italians as like saying how they feel and really like, to
an extent. But I do think that the old school morals, again, are the same. Of like, do you know what I mean? It's very strict. When I was growing up, it was very strict. You couldn't talk at the table unless you spoke to. You couldn't leave the table until everyone had finished. Like, I mean, like, I used to get the slipper or the belt sometimes by my dad and stuff, like, which is not really a thing anymore, to be honest with you. But you know what I mean? It is still very strict. But you know what? The respect and morals I've earned from it are amazing. I do still think that there is that stigma within men in general, man. If you're a man's man, and even that fucking phrase is stupid, but I don't know. The stereotype of that is that you're tough guy, don't let nothing get to him, provider, big guy. I mean, and all that is bullshit, man. We're all the same. Like, men and women are different to an extent, but I mean, like, the emotions we have inside of us, like, the more you try and suppress them, then they're going to come out in mad ways, and that's exactly what happens. Like, they come out in mad ways. You need to give yourself. Like, I talk all the time. Like, I mean, I actually prefer to chat, man, than keep it in. Like, I don't. Yeah, and to be honest, a lot of my friends feel the same. They speak to me, I speak to them. Like, and yes, cool. Sometimes if you had a long day, you're taking on some of those problems, but you do actually make that person feel better, and in turn, I mean, that comes back to help you as well, man. So I think it's just about being a lot more aware. Do you know what I mean, about how people are, and just kind of confronting them on more direct result. You don't have to be rude about it. Do you know what I mean, be caring, but just ask the question, because more or less, more time people don't ever ask the question to people. They might potter around it or talk to their friends right behind their back about them, and then people can, and then they'll get wind of that and kind of feel even shitter and even smaller and even less of wanting to share with you. So I get, obviously, it can be difficult to figure out what to do, but bro, if someone's not okay, what do? You go and see if they're okay. So it's as simple as that in my eyes, man. Just go and ask them if they're all right, man. You know what I mean? Don't have to talk shit behind their back, or because they get wind of it and then they feel even worse. So I think
and they feel self-conscious, and it spirals. It
and
spirals and spirals.
they're already in a shit place, but or a hard place in their head because of whatever's going on in their life. So these little things, they're even more sensitive to them. These little things are going to make them feel so much worse, like monumental worse as well. So it's going to make them feel curl up more and get even more in their head. And that's the worrying thing, man, because then things can take a real shit turn in it. So just about being more aware and more direct, man. That's the best advice.
Definitely. Did you have any idea then? Did Fabio ever confide in anything in his feelings with you, or were there any moments where you could get a glimpse of it? Like,
yeah, 100%, man. Definitely. Like I was living with him for a while. I mean, look, growing up, he was difficult to an extent. Like he was always getting in trouble and stuff, and to an extent, he had an amazing heart and he was a lovely guy, but he just veered down the wrong road a little bit, like as a kid. And he did have a bit of a temper sometimes, and that. But his heart was amazing. He had the best. He always wanted to please people. He was very sensitive because he had the strongest morals, man. He was. Like, and I'm talking old school morals, like loyalty. Like he was really, if you told him a secret, he told him that he would never share that to a soul. Like, and I know that's quite a simple thing to say, but a lot of people can't say the same, man. Like, yeah, where they tell their missus or tell someone else, whatever, but he would swear on that. And like just things like when people did the opposite to him, when he'd share it something with them, and they would like tell their missus or whatever, and they'd get back to him. It really burned him, man. Like, so he was very sensitive in that respect. And when we were living together, to be honest, I feel terrible. I still feel terrible for it because one night he come back and he just let it all out, man. And I was not expecting it at all. And I felt so shit that I've been living with you for, I don't know, probably about 6 months, and I've not even clocked any like at all that you've been like feeling like this in it, and for how long, and what it stemmed from, just everything. Like, and I was like, I'm your brother. I live with you, and I've not even clocked it. So I felt terrible. After that, I did actually tell mum and dad. I said, look, I remember I was going on a European tour, so I wasn't going to be around. So I was like, look, I had to tell him. I was like, look, man, it's serious now. We need to keep an eye on Fabio and whatnot. And we did. But then again, you go to that same place, like you kind of wish, like, how do you deal with it? Do you do like? I mean, my mum and my dad, and we're all like, oh, we knew how sensitive Fabio was. So if we tell too many people, then he's going to get wind that like people are, why is this guy being really nice to me? And do you know what I mean? So it is really tough, man. And back then, none of us knew how to deal with it. I'll be fully honest with you. We didn't know what to do, how to deal with it. Like telling someone like, oh, go and get some help, or like when they feel like shit, for me is so like dangerous, man. Like, because they already feel like shit. So if they don't want to actively help themselves, like the last thing they want to do, if they've held it in this long, is to go and tell some stranger about how they're feeling, and then they're going to give them some pills to make them feel better. Like, I just think the whole process is completely wrong, man. It makes them feel even shitter as a person, and like more irrelevant as a human being. Like, have some pills, there you go, mate. And I just feel like that's just the wrong thing. And knowing Fabio, I knew he would have absolutely hated that. So yeah, there obviously has been glimpses and stuff like over the years, but do you know what, bro? Like he was really good at hiding it, bro. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people are that are suffering mental health, like so good that you I mean, you have to give someone the respect as a human. If you ask them a couple of times, are you okay? Because after that little scenario there, we eventually did eventually agree to go and speak to someone and go and kind of trying to get some help, like slowly but surely. And then after a couple of weeks or a month or so, he was like, look, do you know what, mum, dad, I feel all right now. Don't worry, I'm back. Like, I'm okay. And you have to respect the man for saying that. You know what I mean? You have to respect. You can't go, are you sure? I mean, obviously keep an eye on him, but as a human to a human, bro, if you say that, if we'd have not believed him or challenged him, then he would have felt, I don't know, it's lack of respect, man. So yeah, I mean, yeah, and that's kind of what happened. We kind of thought, okay, it's to bed now, and we kind of left it. And again, behind closed doors, it might have continuously happened since he was saying that. It might have been his way of just getting us off his back. I don't know, but yeah, I thought about it so much, and me and my mum talk about it a lot, and my dad. But I do think that because Fabio is so sensitive in life, I think these mental health problems or just these thoughts, or I think they all come from earlier on in life, bro. I think that the defining factor for me was when mum and dad got split up, I think, like, because my brother was like proper close to my dad, and obviously that broke his heart, man, that they weren't going to be together anymore. And to be honest, for me as well, but I remember it just really scorning him, man. So like just from that, like I feel like that's where this whole thing started, man. And then little bits and little bits. And I think with Fabio, because he never dealt with anything, not say never, but because he preferred to keep things in. I mean, all these things would just pile up on his shoulders constantly, and then before you know it, you're kind of, I don't know, man, just living this mad place in your head, man, because you've got so much in it that you haven't let out to the world. Like,
it gets more and more intense and amplified, and you just go round and round in circles in your head. And I think, you know, if anything now, like listening to you say all of this, like the real message of what's on your mind isn't so much for people to share their feelings and say how they feel, but for anybody around somebody who isn't feeling very well mentally to be more forthright and to communicate better. Really, the message is really for everybody else as well as people to share their feelings, really, isn't it? And so everybody feels more comfortable in that way. There's a more open dialogue, isn't it?
I remember there was an advert on TV, like I don't know how long ago it was. I remember last year or so. I think it was on ITV, but it actually said stop. Like, look at the person to the left of you, ask if they're okay. It actually prompted you to do it. Like, there was no music on the advert, and I thought that was an amazing way of just getting that question, because you're not going to say, "Are you okay?" after it tells you to on the TV. Do you know what I mean? So it'll make you think about it a bit. And I think that again, it's just normalizing it, bro, just to make it so normal, brother. And that's what it is. And I do see promise in it. I do see progression, but it is still like one of the biggest killers for men. I think is it over or under 40? I can't remember, but it's savage that people feel like that's the only way out, man. When there's so much support that you can get, and I think it's just not shouted about enough. I mean, even on TV, you don't see that many adverts or program. Well, I might be wrong. There is the odd program on it, but it's not as broadcasted as much as it should be, I think. Like,
no. And part of the campaign with Samson's Academy is like getting adverts in places like barbers, in places like gyms, where young men will go and do have that moment where, you know, they might actually let more of their feelings out and stuff like that. Like these kind of places where you do feel, where that message is going to get to the right demographic, basically.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think it's important to be in place. Like, you got to think barbers. Most men that go and see, but I see mine every week. Like, so I speak to him a lot, man. Like, I mean, you probably speak to him more than a lot of your family sometimes, or friends.
Yeah.
You see him every week for a good couple of hours. So a lot of barbers, a lot of clients will confide in their barbers, and vice versa. To be fair, man, you share quite a personal relationship where it's just you and that person, that barber, for an hour or two. So yeah, I think that's great. A great way that we've got it in our barbershop, like a barcode which you can scan and it can be quite discreet. You know what I mean, like, because I get it. You don't want it. Some people feel a bit insecure about it, which is absolutely fine. But things like gyms and stuff, if you see it more and more often, especially gyms, to be fair, because that's full of like blokey blokes. So I mean, you're kind of hoping that will kind of get through to all angles, man. And I think, again, bit by bit, bro, I just think hopefully we can just, as a world, can just get it out there more and get it solved, man. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. And I imagine, and I think you alluded to this earlier, fans of yours now, supporters of yours, have seen what you've been doing. They followed you on this journey and shown great compassion and have confided in you now, really, haven't they? So, you know, you're seeing this in real time, really, the benefits of getting that positive message out.
Do you know, when I knew this was going to be the case, like I really wanted it to be the case, but I knew it would hopefully connect some people. And because obviously the Bedford community is very tight. Fabio is known by loads of people. Like, if you're from Bedford, you probably would definitely know someone on that track or Fabio. So I mean, it's very the community have got behind it fully. Like, and I see how many people have messaged me from Bedford, as well as just all around the world, man. Just opening up about how it's listening to this has made them talk to their parents, or confiding in me for the suicide they've been through. And I don't know, it's lovely, man. And that's exactly what we set out to do, man. So I'm hoping it just keeps growing and growing. I'm going to keep shouting it from the rooftops, because I'm really gonna yeah, man. I think it's really going to be a big part of just Turno now. I think just what I want to do in general, just help give back in mental health, because it does feel amazing. Like it's not about money, it's not about anything else. It's literally about helping other human beings, man. And that is an amazing feeling, man. Like that, the feeling you get off that is better than any paycheck, man. So
it's worth more than any type of paycheck.
And to be honest, for me as well, it's my way of like just continuing his legacy, his name. Like, I mean, it feels like he's still here because like it's never not been, his name's never stopped being kind of getting shouted, and it's quite mad to think that a year's gone past. It's gone so quick, but his shop's still here. Like, I think we've all got tattoos of him on us. Like in my house, it's like a shrine of him. Like the tunes in his name. Like I've got t-shirts done with his. Just everything is in his name, and it just even his seminars. It's all because of him. Like, so as much as how horrific and tragic it was him going, like he's also the seed that has started this journey for so many of us, like, and trying to raise more awareness. So there is some beauty in it, and I do think that yeah, I really hope and I do think we're gonna make a difference, man. So, and it's all because of him, man. So that means more than anything, bro, to be fair. Like, yeah.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. And obviously, I mean, it's you got to look after your own mental health as well, and it seems like you are, even on the really, really busy and really challenging days. I mean, how do you make sure that you keep as clear a mind as possible, and kind of look after yourself, really?
The main one, and this is so important, is exercise. Like literally, and I will be so so anal about that, man, because it's literally something that completely. Like, I also do, Wim Hof. You heard of him, Wim Hof? That
like ice cold water.
Yeah. So
that, right.
I do. He does this breathing thing. I do it every morning. It kind of just like centers me, clears my head from any shit from the night before, and then I'm like, right, I'm ready. It also wakes me up, so I'm like ready to go. Yeah, the cold shower thing's great. It's really healthy for your body and.
So guide me through that then. What's that? Because I've heard about it. I've read little bits about it. I know loads of people in the industry. Yeah, the Wim Hof thing. So what do you do every morning? What's the process?
Right. So it's basically 3 rounds. So you do 30 breaths, and you do quite big. So I normally lay down like and like you want to breathe like in, and then you want your stomach to rise, but you want to try on the exhale out. You don't want to exhale as hard as in the way in, because you don't want to release too much of that air. So you do 30 breaths out, and on the 30th one you go and you blow out, and then you got to hold then you just basically hold your breath for a minute, and it's mad. It does feel weird, but it's so easy. I think I've done like 3.5 minutes before, like, which is absolutely crazy. Whoa. Yeah, trust me. It makes you realize how much your body can. It makes you learn a lot about your body, to be honest with you, bro. Because like, just like the feelings you get when you're doing, I guess it's meditation, really, isn't it? Like, but it's just the breathing relaxes you and puts you in this kind of trance-like state, and you almost feel like a bit lightheaded and stuff. But I don't know, you just feel so calm, man. And then you almost forget. The first couple of times I did it, it sounds a bit, it's not scary, but you kind of not pass out, but you kind of just go away for a bit. And then you just come back like a minute in, you go, right, oh, shit. And it's weird. Like your body just kind of just continues that. You do it 3 times. The second minute you do for a minute. Sorry, second one you do for 1.5 minutes. The third one you do for 2 minutes. So it kind of goes up. And there is other ones on YouTube where you can go more intense and stuff. But for me, it just centers me, man. It just kind of gets all that negative energy out. I feel calm. And then I'm ready to go. Then I go to the gym, which is again really so important, man. Just to let that aggression out. I've just started doing boxing as well, so I've started doing that once a week. So that's definitely going to help with my just getting that energy out, and play football as well. So it's so important. Excuse me, it's so important, man, to just look after you, because that is the most important thing. Like, I don't even do it to look good. I do it for my head, bro. Like, it's so important. That's
the bonus, isn't it? You end up looking good as a result. But the gym has been great for I don't know where I'd be without training in the gym at least 3 times a week.
Exactly.
Then I don't know where I'd be, really. That is a huge
it's not even necessarily about like kind of, I don't know, even if you just get like, I don't know, 30 minutes on a treadmill or a walking, whatever, even going for walks, going on your bike. Like, I've got just anything exercise. Like, to be honest, being outside like on a bike is amazing, because you ain't got your phone. You're just out here looking around, smelling the things, like sights, like just, I don't know, just back to basics, bruv. And you just feel quite warm and fuzzy biking around, not having to worry about things. And it does just clear your mind, because I think we all know that our phones are probably probably it's probably 80%. It's a big percentage of, I think, mental health problems, man. Like I think
social media, even though we'll probably be sharing clips of this on social media to advertise it, and the irony of that, but you get it all the time, and especially in competitive creative industries like we're in, you know, you look at people and it's like, hang on a minute, why aren't I doing that? Why aren't I at that level? And you get all these horrible thoughts, and even if you're really feeling good that day, you get that one comment, that one bad comment, or you don't quite get, you know, the amount of traction that you'd expect to, which is a stupid thing, but it's like, you know, it's all part of the social media game and promoting yourself. And it can plummet. You can plummet in a day, really, or just in a second, just seeing one negative thing. Social media is a fucker.
Yeah, I've never like I say to myself, I'm not like one of these guys like, oh, looks like, I mean, looks at followers and I don't get too my head in it, but at the same time, I'll be lying if I said when I put up a video I don't check out, see how many views it's got and check out what the engagement is on it, etc. Like, I'm not obsessive with it where I'm like, oh my god, but still, it still has a bit of a control over me whether I like it or not, man. And there's still part of me that wants to get the most out of it, like wants to please the social media gods, like that I've done. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy, man. But because I've got two sisters that are 16 and they've obviously been born into it. They've got fucking crazy amounts of followers on TikToks, and they're not even doing anything mental. It's just like them with a boomerang with a dress on or something, and it's like, what the fuck, millions of views. Like, so it's like, it is almost like ingrained into people now that, like, yeah, you have school and you have like this real job shit, but no, everyone wants to make it like I mean, it's so important to just growth. Like the fact that I watched a charity football match the other day, the KSI thing, like, and that's all just social media guys selling out a 40,000 capacity stadium, and they all started on playing FIFA on YouTube, and now it's mental, man. So it's a whole market, brother, of like, it's
a career option now. It's a career path.
Exactly, bro. An influencer is a career path, man, which was only a word that probably got invented about a year or two ago. Yeah. So it's mad, but that's just the way the world is evolving. It's scary, but unfortunately, what can you do about it, man? It just feels like everyone just wants to be, and it's almost like followers are currency. Like, if you've got fucking a certain amount of followers, then you can get into certain places. You got a blue tick, bruv, coming, mate. You ain't nothing out there. It's bad, and no doubt in 5-10 years' time, it'd probably be even more savage. Like, so. But yeah, it's crazy. It's just the world we live in, man. It is mad. I do fear for my kids, to be fair, but yeah. At the same time, I mean, I've spoke to my sisters for advice. I've been on TikTok for a little bit, but not really that long. Like, I've asked them. I was like, yo, girls, man, like, how do you get so many? And I felt weird asking my sisters, like, how do I get more engagement on that on TikTok? And like, well, you got hashtag FB this and hashtag. I was like, okay. They're telling me I'm sending them previews of my posts. I just said, right, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's fine. And to be honest, I have seen an actual growth since then. So you just got to surrender to it sometimes and go, you know what, these two are from that generation. They know their shit. They know how to connect with the youths, like. So I got to embrace that and ask them, man, and recycle that shit, man. So yeah, that's good.
I think that's quite sweet, though. I think that's really sweet, and your sisters are giving you help, and then it's another part of like your family kind of being part of the Turno journey, the Turno experience, and everybody helping you out. And I think you use social media really, really well. Like, we've been connected for a long time, and I think, you know, like, one of the best things that you've done creatively prior to what's on your mind was I think it's pronounced Malia, isn't it? With George the Shard Climber, and that came about through social media, didn't it?
Yeah, man, literally he used one of my tracks on it was so weird because I started watching, I don't know why, I can't remember what it's called now. Is it parkour? Is that what it's called? You know, people yeah. So I was I don't know why, I was randomly watching, started getting into that a little bit, and then someone tagged me in a video of him climbing I think it's called the Agbar, which is again in Barcelona. He climbed that thing and he had one of my tunes, Abyss, on there. And I was like, okay, sick. And then I just reached out, I said, safe, man. And we just got on, bro. It was mad. And then we started thinking like, can we maybe do a project together? And at first it was like, we were thinking, I'll do a live stream while you climb a building behind me or something, which would have been cool. Don't get it twisted, but we kind of thought, is this going to be possible? We met up a couple of times, and then yeah, we just kind of hit it off, really, man. He's only 19, I think. He's very young, but he's so tall for one. But he's also just, I don't know, just really he reminds me of how I was a little bit when I was younger, just like fearless, just like, I know what I want, I'm gonna do it. And he was obsessive on like climbing these things. Like, he would have like detective movie on his wall, like all these like different pictures and stuff, and like arrows and pins and that. And I was like, wow, this is mad. Like this guy's about it, bro. But I loved how obsessed he was about.
Yeah.
We'd come up with the idea to write a tune to a building he was going to climb. Time is now. My clothing brand sponsored the outfit as well. We made him an outfit and stuff, and it was just a proper weird, a different project, man. Something that no one had done before. I don't think we wanted to create a bit of art that, like, I suppose, like would connect with different parts, like of the world. I guess. Do you know what I mean? Different creatives, like it kind of like fits into so many different boxes. Do you know what I mean? Like almost,
and
like,
draws parallels as well. Makes you realize, you know, like game recognizes game. That's something that Doc Scott said to me in an interview recently, and it's so true. Like, you know, when you have a discipline, whether that's production, whether that's like, you know, kind of the gym and fitness and training, or in his case, being an absolute nutter, like, you know, risking your life, going up with no ropes or anything like that, climbing up these buildings. It makes me feel sick and gives me goosebumps at the same time. But like a game recognizes game. You understood each other. You could see that you both kind of dedicated your life to something. And I've since talked to him, like, you know, since we ran that on UKF and stuff, we've since like struck up a dialogue, and every video he ever posts, like, I have to watch out. I'm morbid curiosity. It makes me feel sick. Like, even though I think I gave myself a fear of heights by doing parachute jumps and bungee jumps, while I'm not in the right frame of mind, like going to a festival and doing a bungee jump on acid. Like, it's not the one. You think it's going to be the one, and I've developed a fear of heights because of this.
Really?
But I watch his videos and I always feel sick. I always get that churning moment, but I got to watch it because it always comes. He writes this really eloquent story about why he does stuff and stuff. He's not just like, he's not out there seeking adrenaline. He's a freedom fighter in a really mad kind of spiritual way, isn't it?
That's exactly it, man. Like I said to him, like, what do you do? He loves just fucking with the rules of life. Of like, I mean, he loves playing with it. He's so obsessive about it that, I mean, like, I didn't realize how much goes into a climb, but like, because we've done the Malaya thing together, like, it was mad. He had to go there like a couple months before. It was COVID as well, so he had to be quite sneaky about how he got there, and like, he had to scope it out. He had to figure out. Do you know what I mean? And that's all from, like, you can't touch the fucking thing. Like, I mean, you can't really just have a little practice. Do you know what I mean? He's got to literally just scope it out. And the funny thing was, when we went back there to record like an interview we done together, and just to see the buildings and stuff, we went for a little couple of days in Barcelona, and we went to that building, and literally, bro, within like fucking 2 minutes, bro, like feds like pulled up, like, shh, like, no, not again. He's like, I'm not gonna climb. He's so calm. He's like, don't worry, I'm not gonna climb it. I'm not gonna.
Wow.
Climb. Yeah, bro. So they knew
he's known. He's recognized by them.
We had the press come down, like it was mad. Like, so yeah, he loves it though. He can tell. I said to him, I was like, what's it like when you're climbing up there and you can hear like fire engines and shit? Does that not make you fucking scared? He's like, nah, it actually gives me more gas. It gasses me up more to go, yes, I've got the world watching. So like, he's just different breed, man. He told me one time that he broke into to Thorpe Park and he climbed stealth like the ride. I know. And he told me that he got to the top and then the security tried to find him. He got down and he was running. They were chasing him around the park for a long time. He did get caught eventually, but to get in there, I think he said he got a raft and rafted himself. Like he's just a mad guy, man. Like, and since then he's done loads of stuff. He's got like Channel 4 documentaries and like mini series and stuff like. And yeah, man, he's a G, man. Like I say, for that old, for Pete to be that old and to be that focused and just to be, yeah, man, just that sure of what you want to do with your life, man. And it's such a random path to go down and actually make a career out of, man. It's quite a risky one, well, a very risky one.
Isn't it? Like we're quite niche in the drum and bass world. That's pretty niche anyway. But I mean, he makes us look pretty mainstream, really, by doing something like that, isn't it?
Rob, it's crazy. He's absolutely nuts, and like I say, he's continuously evolving. I've seen he's been doing a train surfing and there's loads of mad shit, man. Like just mad shit. But I just feel like he's going to keep growing and growing. He did actually say to me he wanted to climb the Burj Khalifa. Imagine that. But fuck, you never know, man. It'd be crazy. If anyone could do it, it'd be him, man. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And I just love the fusion of that and what you achieved there. And have you got your eyes on any other kind of like experiments or fusions or collaborations in any type of way like that?
Nothing. No, because for me that was very natural. Like it didn't mean to happen. It just happened, and it felt very natural. And then suddenly it got us really, we both got really excited about this prospect of it being. Oh my god! Like there's so many things that could have. I mean, him climbing like a building and getting news, what's the word? News attention and press attention, like on a worldwide scale, man. Whilst wearing our outfit, which there's so many parts of it, man. It was crazy. Like so, nothing has touched me again since like that. But no doubt, man, like anything like that, just different and pockets. I suppose the what's on your mind thing is a little bit like that in a sense, because it's more than just a tune. There's more to the project. I mean, it's getting a lot of people involved from different sectors, different places that wouldn't normally be together, and it's again talking about a subject that it's close to everyone's heart. So I suppose I've answered my own question with that one there. But like, I definitely would be up for doing more things with George and other people. I love just difference, man. Different creative ways of putting things together. I just find it just gets very boring doing the same thing every day. And I think every artist will say the same thing. You can't just get in the same. I've been in the studio for 10 years, man. Like I can't wait to get a new space. I'll try anything to try and make it judge up a little bit. I've got some mood light and I've just put it over there. I've changed the color of the walls about 4 times. Like I've moved it around a bit. Like, so it's nice to just do different projects that get you excited, like about, just other things. And if you can fuse different arts together, then I don't know, man. I do feel like you create something really special, and I'm really
definitely, and taking risks as well. It's exactly why I set up One More Thing, and I'm walking away from UKF to do it. Really, like probably the hardest time where the economy and the finances and everything are absolutely screwed.
Yeah.
But when you feel that, especially if you're in a creative job, and you said it right at the start, really about picking things that you want to do. And it's really important if you have chosen this lifestyle to take those risks and take a bit of a leap of faith, really, in that type of way. And that's exactly what I'm doing with this channel. And I think with that, really, it's time for me to say goodbye and thank you very much, really. And just thank you to everybody who's watched this and supports One More Thing. And a massive, huge big up to everybody who supported what you're doing at the moment with What's on Your Mind. What else comes up next? Have you got another release then kind of lined up for the rest of the year or anything?
Yes, I have actually. Yeah, I've got another release with Annex and X-Man, which trust me, it's proper different as well. Like you would not, a lot of people I showed it to think, I say to them, guess what MC's on this, and they never guess X-Man, never. So that's all I'm giving away for the moment. It's going to be coming out, I think in October, actually. I think this month, to be honest with you, end of this month near Halloween, because it's got a kind of a horror kind of vibe to it. So that's the next project, and then after that. Like I said, at the moment, I'm just writing rave tunes at the moment, man. I'm just enjoying being back in the clubs, writing just bangers for reactions, really, man, and seeing what happens. And a bit of jungle and other kind of bits and bobs here and there. But my main focus is just getting them rhythms out, man, and hopefully next year,
brilliant,
getting a headline show in London or something. That's the plan.
Go on. Awesome, man. Bangers for reactions. I love it. So thank you very much for your time, man. And big up, best of luck with everything. And thank you to everybody who's watched this. Please like and subscribe if you've watched all the way through, and share it with your friends and tell the world about One More Thing and about Turno. Thank you very much.
Respect, man.
Wicked.
One more thing.
One more thing. One more thing.